The Inanda International Polo returns and South Africa will be facing it off with Argentina this afternoon in Sandton. Now, the Inanda Development Cup features the freshest novice polo talent battling it out. In studio with us this morning is Inanda Polo manager Craig James, the South African team captain Tom De Bruin and Benjamin Carlos Araya Sr. and he plays for the Argentina team. Gentlemen, very good morning and welcome.
Morning, CP. How are you?
Great. How are you, man? It's so good to have you in studio this morning. Craig, let me start with you. This sport seems to be growing every single year, and it's actually the highlight in South Africa's entertainment calendar. Talk to us about this afternoon's match.
Well, we're in for two very exciting matches. We have one game which is going to be at 12:30. This is going to be the development curtain raiser, and you're going to see young development talent which has been picked from all over South Africa.
Okay.
Young black players that are going to be gracing us with their presence and showing off their skills on the field. And then the game at 2:30 we'll see South Africa play off against Argentina.
All right. So what should we look forward to?
Looking at the weather and looking at the teams that have been put in for these matches, I think we're in for some intense polo action. You're going to see polo ponies flying around. I think you're going to see the glitz and glam and the beautiful people next to the field. I think it's going to be a wonderful day.
All right. So, Tom, what's the biggest challenge of playing in South Africa?
The biggest challenges are obviously logistics, getting around to different clubs, different areas. We in South Africa are lucky that we have kind of two seasons. We have a winter and a summer season with the different rainfall in the Cape. Mm-hmm. And obviously, polo, it takes the biggest real challenges. It takes a lot of organising and it's a very expensive sport to play.
Okay. Do you get a sense that there's growing interest among South Africans to participate in this kind of sport? And have you had any challenges insofar as funding or sponsorship is concerned?
Look, that is a big challenge. I mean, we're lucky that Aon's come on board for this year, and Nedbank also later on in the year. So okay. Those are great development, and it's really helping the sport of polo. Players in South Africa. Internationally, we're a little bit far away from the action. So generally young players to cut a career get started in South Africa and then they go overseas to cut their teeth in Europe and South America.
Yeah. Now, Benjamin, so what's your team's biggest strength and what kind of competitive edge that it has over the other team?
No, I don't think there's really an advantage because the players here, they know the field, they know the horses. We got to meet our horses over the last 2 or 3 days, so we have to adjust to all of that very, very quickly. Our strengths is I've been playing with my brother Diego for a long, long time. We know each other very well. We know the other players. We played with Juan last year, so the team feels very strong. We have had a couple of practices. Yeah. It's looking good, but the South African team is very strong also. So we're looking forward to a very nice match.
Let's analyze the sport back home. Is it just as popular as it is here, or is it just in its initial or infancy stages?
No, it's quite a big deal. It's very family oriented because like if my grandpa or my father plays polo, usually the kids play polo. Okay. So it's a big thing. We got kids tournaments for ages 8 to 14, and we probably get 30, 40 teams that day. So imagine the father, the mother, the grandpa, uncles and cousins. You get thousands of people to watch those games just for kids.
Okay, so any new players to feature in today's match?
I will, on our side, just look at the Flaco Garcia Grossi playing at number 3. He's very strong. He's a good guy to watch, and also my brother at number 4. Those two guys are very strong and worth watching.
All right. Craig, I mean, this event has historically been in Sandton, here in Gauteng. So any plans of moving it to other provinces as well?
Look, I mean, the greater idea is always to try and expand on polo through South Africa and share the exposure and share the growth. We've focused on this event and hosting it at the Inanda Club in Sandton. Its proximity is obviously ideal for people to come and watch. Location is really easy to get to, and we welcome the public to come in on the day. There's a gate entrance and come in. For the greater plan, as long as there's extra funding, we can definitely look to expand through South Africa and our different provinces.
Okay. The development program is obviously grooming people to have more interest in the sport, to participate in the sport. So how else are you planning to grow the sport?
So the development project really comes off the efforts of employers who have grooms who typically work with the horses. They've had experience for a number of years. And these guys are given the opportunity to start playing polo. What's making it possible to further develop these guys are big companies like the Aons Insurance Group, which have now come on board and are putting funding into the sport. It allows us to host an event which creates greater exposure to attract new sponsors, hopefully. And then
we don't have much time, unfortunately. Please give us details.
More importantly, money going into these players. We need as much money going into these guys so that we can continue the development project.
Okay, your score predictions quickly?
Yeah, it's going to be very tough for us, but well, look, we're hoping we can sneak a win.
All right, gentlemen, please go ahead and have fun. We appreciate your time, hey?
Thank you very much.
All right. The South Africa versus Argentina match taking place on Saturday today, the 11th of May at the Inanda Sandton. We just spoke to Inanda Polo manager Craig James, South African team captain Tom De Bruin, and Argentina team captain Benjamin Araya on what can be expected. Right, this is Morning Live. Let's take a short break.